I won't see this woman again. And that was Bill from Memphis, Tennessee.
Well, Bill, I agree. I mean, I think that's really tacky. You know, I think there are, but ladies, there's hope because there are other ways to get that information. You know, it's not what you ask, it's how you ask it. You know, I think if you say to someone, "So, show me your W-2," that's kind of obvious. But you can assume certain things based on what they do. If he tells you that I pump gas at the BP, now there's a chance he could own the BP.
That's right.
However, I think that you need to ask, oh, really? Is that all you do there? Or do you have other duties? You know, there's other ways to ask that same question. Just because he drives a certain car doesn't mean that he didn't borrow it, or, you know, there are other ways to get that information.
Rent it.
And you can rent it for the date. I mean, you have to be, I think you have to be tactful. I mean, do you get uneasy when women do that?
The greatest comeback I ever heard was from my buddy in Houston. There was a girl sitting with us at the table, and she was rattling off, I want this, I want that, I want God to do this for me, this for this. And he looked at her, after she went on for about 5 minutes, he looked at her and he said, you know, can I ask you a question? She goes, sure. He goes, what do you have to offer?
We've had that on our show. Same exact situation. How about you, Joe? Does that make you uncomfortable, or have you been in a situation where someone's done that, grilled you like that?
They haven't had a chance to, not to that extent, but it does make me uncomfortable because it kind of also makes me cautious as well, because I'm kind of looking for that first. You know, what is she really looking for? And you can tell pretty much in the beginning, you know, because certain things that come up, and if everyone is different, but I'm pretty cautious of that.
But does that make you think that she's just after you for money, if she asks those questions?
Well, she could be. It depends on what the money is. If she's trying to better herself, which makes a difference. If there's things that she wants, you know, she wants to get a house or she wants to go to school. I mean, if there are good, sound reasons for needing some financial support, then that's different than. I just want more clothes, or I just want my own personal car. You know, if it's specific selfish things, then it's different versus things that, you know, to better yourself or things that are needed.
Yeah, and based on goals. And also, I think that if you're with someone and you know you're goal oriented and you know you've achieved certain things in your life, then it is important. You do need to know those things, because if they haven't, then that's not good. You know, that's not good. Let's go back to the cafe and get a question from one of our audience.
Yes, I have a question for the ladies. Would you think that it was cheap if a guy offered to cook your dinner instead of taking you out on the first date, and would you feel comfortable with going to his home on the first date?
I would feel wonderful, because if you liked me well enough to prepare that dinner, that's more important to me than if you took me to Maxime's in Paris, because you cared enough to go out and shop, to find the right menu, clean your house, and do all the things that we women do and don't particularly like to do. So I would probably fall in love with you that night.
Cindy?
I agree with Maxine. He's taking the time. He's taking the time to make the dinner, organize it, go through all the steps.
Right.
I think it's a very sweet gesture.
So it just goes to show you that it doesn't have to be the money. In certain instances, it is the thought that counts. When we come back out of this break, we're going to have some more questions from the internet, more questions from the cafe, and more information from our panel. So stay tuned.
I want to get married.
I'm single. I'm a mother.
I'm divorced now.
I love to
Dance.
garden, exercise,
Paint.
I was 30.
51, 40.
22 years old when I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
I love to help other people.
Survive this disease.
I am a breast cancer survivor.
Survivor.
Helping future
Survivors.
If you've been diagnosed with breast cancer, call 1-800-221-2141 and talk to one of our counselor survivors.
I'm here.
Hi, and welcome back to Singles Talk. Once again, it is the economics of dating, and I have a question in the cafe.
I did have a question for Steve, but I think I'll give him a break. My question is for Maxine. Right. Okay, you made a comment earlier about a gift. If a gift is a gift, you would keep it. My question is, if the relation dies, what would you do with the gift? Do you keep it, wearing it still, or do you go to a consignment shop?
Believe me, if it were a diamond, it would not go to a pawn shop. gift is a gift. Whatever I give you, if it's nothing but a card, it's yours. If I choose to give a friend a gift and then the relationship goes sour, that is still his or her gift if it's a friend you've given a gift to, or if it's a male friend. I feel the same about me. Once the gift is mine and in my hand, it's
Or
mine.
on it. Or on it, or on my person. No, I agree. That's why they call it a gift. That's what makes it a gift.
Yes.
Let's get some more internet questions from Cafe Renee. Cafe Renee is reading our questions today, and we're going to get some more questions from her.
Okay, Angela, this is a question from Steve out of Columbus, Ohio. And Steve writes, I'm a 26-year-old male. You should see the look of disappointment in women's faces when I say I'm a student versus the look of interest when I say I'm a medical resident. Explain that one.
Well, obviously, say you're a medical resident. No, I think we kid ourselves if we try to say that it doesn't matter, and then when you walk up to someone that it doesn't matter what you say you do for a living. It does matter. I mean, I think people should be honest and tell the truth. It matters. But, Steve, you shouldn't be turned off by that, because it's no different than if you saw someone you weren't attracted to, you wouldn't walk up to them at all. So, you know, it's just the way it is. What can I say? What do you all think?
True.
I agree.
Very true.
Like, I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing. I just think that people, you know, they're thinking if you're a student, and I'm 35 years old and you're a student, and you're 26, that's a problem.
That's a problem.
So they do need to know. That's not a bad thing.
No.
What do you all agree?
Agree.
Of course you do.
I don't.
Unanimous decision.
You don't? Okay. Of course Maxine doesn't. Tell me, Maxine.
Well, okay, there are two sides to everything.
Right.
You can have a relationship, a dating relationship with someone that is a student, and it doesn't mean it's going to lead to marriage.
True.
Or, and in the meantime, you are sort of networking and meeting other people.
No, I agree. The
So-
more people you meet, the better.
Sure.
But he's talking more about he wants to know why there's less interest when he says he's a student versus when he
But
says
then
he's a medical resident.
that person's lost, because that student might introduce them to someone that is already a doctor.
There you go, Maxine. I like that answer. Okay, Cafe Renee.
This is next question.
Okay.
I'm embarrassed to say that I was totally swindled by a man I met through the personals. He seemed very well off and ended up taking me for close to $50,000. How could this happen? What made me a target? And that's from Francis out of Miami, Florida.
Francis, girlfriend, let me talk to you.
She lives in Miami.
Let me tell you. You know, that goes right back to what we talked about earlier, that you know, your appearances, financial status. She probably assumed that he had a lot of money. And that really is kind of the trick that they play, these type of people that would do something like that. They look for you to think they have money and to be the kind of person that wants a man with money, and then they in turn wait for an opportunity to come in and take yours. But, I mean, you talked about that, Maxine, about men liking women that had money.
Sure, but think about it. Why would I give a man, no matter how much I loved him, my $50,000? No. Nor would I ask him to give me $50,000.
Well,
No.
but in her defense, I think a lot of people, it's like probably one of the least reported crimes because people are embarrassed.
Yeah.
But it happens all the time. And but it happens little by little. They don't just come out and say, write me a check for $50,000. They say, honey, I'm investing in this oil well over here, and my money's coming in next week, and if you could just help me out and lend me the $10,000, it's coming back, and it's going to be $30,000 for
I'll
you.
take it to my broker and allow him to look this over, and if he thinks it's a good investment, fine.
That's when she asked how she
really.
became a target, that's how. She didn't let
didn't
somebody
know
else
to-
in. But like I said, in her defense, these men are very slick, and they put you in a controlling situation so you don't talk to anybody else, so they can do it. You know, and it's very hard to admit. So don't take it personally. Just move on. I mean, that's what I say. We have another question in the cafe.
I have more or less a comment rather than a question.
Okay.
I've heard today, keep the ring, send the man back, the Gucci, the this, that, and the other. Aren't we missing the whole point of what's important? You know, when you date someone, you think the most important thing is the people. It's not who makes the most money, who has the most prestigious job. It's, you know, people, communication between two people, whether the people can get along and begin to build a relationship. Shows about being single. A lot of the things I've heard today, I know why you're still single. I know exactly why you're still single. You know, money is not the issue, and the gift should not be the issue. What should be the issue is two people, whether they can communicate and grow